Hey, what's up guys, TheCampingRusher here. Welcome back everybody to the Fortnite video. Make sure to touch that like button right now if you don't want Fortnite to add the patch notes to the item shop as a sellable cosmetic. I saw this, obviously this is not going to happen. We hope, right? It makes no sense. But just a fun little post on Reddit is the reason we aren't getting patch notes is because they're planning to sell it soon, which is I thought was funny. But it does actually transition into the first bit of news today because I do have some more secret changes for you, some important ones. But first, did Epic stop releasing patch notes because of the confirmation bias? And I honestly had this thought before I saw this post, but I thought I would not read the entire thing here, but basically this first line explains what this confirmation bias means. How many times have we read the patch notes and told ourselves, why would they do that to the whatever it is? They ruined it. Then, when you go to play the game, you subconsciously look for evidence that confirms your preconceived notions, and usually those notions are negative, right? That's the idea. So you read it, you're like, man, on paper this change looks terrible, and I'm gonna go play the game with that preconceived notion that change is terrible. So let's find evidence to back up my bias, right? That's the idea, and this is what I've thought. This is what I thought the reason for vaulting the patch notes is. I still don't agree it's the right thing to do. I mean, yes, that's true, that's a thing, people are going to do that, but at the same time, I think you just got to deal with it. You got to deal with the negative backlash a little bit, because eventually the bias goes away. I think Combat Shotgun was a good example. When it was first introduced, when we read it in those patch notes the first time, I was like, man, this thing sucks. This thing's got no damage. I tend to be a little bit, especially in these videos, let's give it a shot first. So I probably wasn't as bad as some people reading it were, but a lot of people, this thing's terrible, what's going on? And then a week later, once everyone figured out how it actually worked and they got to play with it, you realize this thing is very OP. So that's an example of the bias, right? And usually it ends up being wrong in the end. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that has any truth? I don't think that's reason to keep the patch notes vaulted. We want them back, man. And another reason we want them back is because look at this. 11.1, here are some balance changes that were found deep within the files. But this is what we need to see, in my opinion. Look at all this. It's all reload time based. But you can see a lot of weapons. Remember, we don't have that many weapons in the loot pool this season. Some of them had some pretty major adjustments here. ARs were basically all the reload time has been increased by varying percents. The pump shotguns all increased except for the legendary, which has been decreased. So a bit more of a reward there if you do land that legendary pump shotgun. SMGs decreased, but then the P90 increased. That change actually makes a little bit of sense. And then the sniper, major decrease on the green sniper, and then an increase there on the gold sniper. So again, to me this is what I want to see when I read patch notes. These are the things that we're not gonna be able to tell, right? We're not gonna be able to tell. And really at all, or we might think that there's been a change, but we don't have any confirmation unless we have some patch notes, some way of proving it, or just some way to show what's been going on. So if you're gonna vault patch notes, vault all that, let us discover all these things, fine, but at least give us a balance change, because I know that they do many balance changes every single time, and I was debating if they did, but yeah, they did some massive balance changes on this last one. No damage or anything, but reload. So I don't know. I want them back, I guess, is the moral of the story. And there's some info about some changes that you probably didn't know about before this video. Yesterday, the community vote was going on for one of those brand new skins, and myself and many others chose to vote in the top skin. I don't know the name of it, but the tree guy. I know some people were mad. I think other people wanted. I know the name of it, but I don't know was it the cowgirl? I think people wanted both the other skins. This was a pretty big split because they honestly are three good skins. But I went for Bushman right away, and then I saw many of you tweeting at me, sending me some Instagrams, YouTube comments that you typed in support a creator code and you bought this thing. The gameplay in the background should be this new skin. So basically, moral of the story: code TheCampingRusher. You'll feel happier, live a better lifestyle, feel more satisfied. thanks to all those who are supporting. The sport's been unreal the last couple weeks. It does reset every 2 weeks. China. News in China. There's been a new law passed, kind of related to Fortnite, but more so video games in general. Under 18-year-olds, so people under 18 are no longer allowed to play video games for more than 90 minutes on any weekday, and they're also banned from playing games past 10 p.m. every day until 8 a.m. the next morning. And on weekends, they'll only be allowed a maximum of 3 hours on games per day. So, yeah, what do you guys think of this one, man? I'm not really, I mean, it's, I've never been to China. I'm totally not fully, I don't fully understand the culture or anything, so I don't think it's my place to comment, but what do you think? I guess if this law was passed in Canada, or for me, Canada, America, UK, wherever you're located watching these videos, what would your reaction be to a law like this in your place of residence? Let me know. A lot of GameStops are either becoming fully sold out of or close to being sold out of Merry Mint codes. This is because instead of giving one code per person, they are giving one code per purchase. According to a few different sources, GameStop now has plans to restock these, or has no plans to restock these codes. I better not mess up that wording. That's basically the point of this post. Yeah, they're starting to run out. I mean, I guess we could have assumed this. The demand for these things has been insane for the last week or so, right? And again, it is EB Games in Canada as well. So if you're trying to get them, go get them quick. Go to your GameStop. I believe some are doing per item, some are doing per person, one per item, one per person. I think it depends on your GameStop. But yeah, if you're wanting one, make it quick because some are already running out. Here's some good information. A bunch of upcoming or maybe scrapped items in the next few. I mean, it could be months, honestly, based on the number we have here. Let me show you. Gadgets, Doodle, Heart, Scooter. Remember, these are code names. Traps is the cage and the surprise party. Consumables is the tornado grenade, clone machine, chug stand, and pool floaty. I think pool floaty and cage have been in the files for a while. Everything else I've never heard of. And based on these code names, the scooter, right? That's one I'm thinking of, and then the clone machine are two that stick out to me. Thoughts? What do you think? How do you think these things will work? Again, I'm counting 5, 9. Let's just assume they're putting out a new one every week, which I know they aren't. Our first new item, that harpoon gun, was the first new item of chapter 2, but this would basically carry us through the first season of chapter 2, even if they were doing it every week. So this will probably carry us into chapter 2, season 2. And yeah, I'm excited to know more about this, and I hope they start releasing. I know there's the debate, the simplicity versus that fresh, novel feeling. So hopefully they obviously have a new plan. I just really want to know what the new plan is. I guess that's the whole point of this video. I want just some communication, as we're all hoping as well. On top of that, Spadicy, this is the guy. He's actually been getting a lot of the leaks. He goes deep into the files, so make sure to check him out. He's pretty low key in the leaker world. I could totally be wrong, but it seems like the Scoped AR will be making a comeback soon. And he puts common, uncommon, epic, legendary, but then he later scratches that and says it'll probably just be the epic and legendary rarities. So there's another item there. Could be in the code, or could just be the same Scoped AR we were used to in Chapter 1. For those interested, kind of a final comment on that FaZe Jarvis situation. This situation has blown up. I think I saw CNN post about it today. And I forget what it said. It was just worded so like, I do not understand video games, but I'm talking about it anyways, which is always funny to me. I had a good laugh. But according to an Epic Games spokesman who spoke with The Sun about the situation, Jarvis's ban is final. Epic Games has a zero tolerance policy for the usage of cheat software, so he will not be unbanned. And I mean, come on, I had this opinion in the last video. I think it's pretty obvious. There's no way for Jarvis to get unbanned without Epic getting a serious amount of backlash, right? They would have to unban every single cheater. And although some of us may feel bad for the guy, he still did wrong. And there's no positive reason for Epic to unban him, really, at all. So I think that's pretty expected, but just to close out that situation. And finally, We had a little bit of news today. I don't think it was a complete lack, but I like to throw a concept in at the end of a video, especially a good one. And so let me know what you think of this. Quadcrasher V2. HypeX posted it. We actually don't know who initially made this. So if someone knows, leave it in the comment section. I'll add it to the description later. But it drives on water as well. So Quadcrasher, the thing that could, right, if you're good at it, you could fly across the entire map. And then it'd be nice if it could float on water as well. I think it's a great idea. I still am wanting a little bit more mobility. It doesn't have to be crazy. I'm liking that the similar feeling. It's a similar feeling to early Fortnite days, and it also plays out so much different. It feels like just a brand new game, as you can probably see, not in this video, but last video and future ones, some of the gameplay from those tournaments. Like, it's a whole different style of gameplay, and I love it. But Quadcrasher V2 that drives on water. Are you a fan? Would you like to see it? I sure as heck would. Let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, touch that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Code TheCampingRusher. And take care. Talk soon.